Think about this. Children of wealthy families often have a massive advantage. This edge doesn't stem solely from financial resources, but rather from the mindset their parents cultivate in them. These kids gain access to decades of wisdom passed down by individuals who have achieved remarkable success. Today, we're diving into 15 key lessons the wealthy teach their kids. Welcome to the video. We're so glad to have you here. If you're looking to learn something truly valuable, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on insights that could change your life. Sometimes, the right piece of advice at the right moment can create significant transformations over time. Lesson 1. How to be sociable and connect with others. You'd think more people would understand the importance of holding a pleasant conversation and connecting with others, but it's often overlooked. Wealthy parents, however, ensure their children are socialized early, typically before the age of 4. And here's why. If a child learns social skills early on, they're more likely to get along with their peers, making them naturally likable. Other children will want to play with them, and parents will feel comfortable letting their kids interact with someone who is polite and well-behaved. This creates a snowball effect that continues throughout life. Being likable has countless benefits. Teachers tend to treat sociable students better, recognizing their positive energy. As they grow, these individuals find it easier to form meaningful friendships, build strong networks, and access better job opportunities. Early socialization lays the foundation for a lifetime of opened doors and new possibilities. The lesson here is clear. Connecting with others is not just a skill, it's an invaluable asset. Lesson 2. Understanding how money works. It might sound like a simple concept, but surprisingly, few people genuinely ask themselves fundamental questions about money. For instance, how do people make money? Why does my employer pay me a certain amount? What factors influence my salary or income? How do taxes work, and can they be optimized? What specific steps can I take to improve my financial situation in households of the wealthy? Parents make it a priority to introduce these concepts early on. They discuss the value of money, how it's earned, and its importance in daily life. Children are often involved in conversations about household expenses and placed in real-life scenarios to learn firsthand that money isn't as easy to earn as it may seem. This early exposure gives them a clear understanding of value in exchange for goods and services. On the other hand, in less affluent families, money is often a taboo topic. Discussions about finances are rare, and children might have no idea how much their parents earn or spend. The only time they hear about money is often during arguments about not having enough. This lack of transparency can create a lasting association between money and negative emotions, hindering their financial literacy from an early age. By learning to understand money and its role in life, wealthy families equip their children with the tools they need to navigate the world with confidence and capability. Lesson 3. You are not entitled to anything. Another vital lesson wealthy families instill in their children is the understanding that no one is owed success. While many poor individuals tend to rely on external sources to solve their problems, the rich recognize that the world rewards performance, and nothing is guaranteed. Being born into wealth undoubtedly has its perks. Access to better education, resources, and opportunities can make life easier. However, with these advantages come unique pressures and risks. When you have more to lose, the stakes are higher, and the pressure to perform is constant. Wealthy parents teach their children that while they may start ahead in life, long-term success depends on their ability to grow, adapt, and work hard. Simply maintaining the status quo isn't enough. This mindset prevents entitlement, a common trap that leads to the downfall of many wealthy families. History has shown a recurring pattern. The first generation builds wealth through hard work, sacrifice, and ambition. The second generation, benefiting from a stable foundation, focuses on maintaining the wealth. By the third generation, however, the hunger and drive are often lost. This generation feels entitled to wealth without putting in the necessary effort, resulting in reckless spending and the eventual depletion of the family fortune. For the rich, this is a cautionary tale. They teach their kids that success is not a birthright, but a result of consistent effort and smart decision-making. Daddy's money might give them a head start, but it can only take them so far. Beyond that, it's up to them to create their own path to success. Lesson 4: Building daily habits that create advantages. Habits are one of the most powerful tools for achieving success, and teaching your child to develop good habits can transform their life. Here's why. It takes roughly 21 days to establish a new habit. Once you push through that initial phase, the behavior becomes second nature. Want to read more? Make reading a daily habit. Struggling to stay fit? Turn exercising into a routine. The same applies to work. If you make it a habit to organize your day and optimize your tasks, you'll free up time for other valuable activities. Rich people understand the power of habits and use them strategically to get ahead in life. They focus on wealth-building actions, such as investing, networking, and self-education. Poor people, on the other hand, often nurture harmful habits that steer their lives off course. Habits act like magnifying lenses. They amplify what you consistently do. This is why it's so crucial to be mindful of the habits you pass on to your children. Remember, kids learn by observing your actions, not by listening to your words. If you want them to develop positive habits, be the example they follow. Lesson 5: Knowledge is more valuable than money in the long run. There's a saying that goes, "Invest in yourself, it pays the best dividends." While simple, its depth can take years to fully grasp. This concept goes beyond attending school or reading books. It's about making yourself more valuable to the world. The world rewards value. People who can solve problems, create innovations, or offer unique skills are compensated well because they provide something meaningful to others. Wealthy families emphasize this to their children, teaching them that becoming valuable is the key to success. There are countless ways to create value, from filling a crucial role in a company to inventing a product or offering a service that people need. The more valuable you are, the more opportunities you'll have. And the only way to increase your value is by gaining knowledge, honing skills, and dedicating time to mastery. Studies suggest that it takes around 10,000 hours to master a skill. That's why wealthy parents encourage their children to try various activities early in life, giving them a head start on accumulating those hours. Knowledge, unlike money, cannot be easily taken away. While having money doesn't guarantee you'll gain knowledge, having knowledge almost always ensures that you can earn money. Wealthy individuals understand this, which is why they prioritize education and skill building, knowing that these investments will pay off for a lifetime. Lesson 6: Don't waste time on irrelevant things. Here's a hard truth: nobody cares about your degree as much as you think they do. The traditional education system is increasingly outdated, recycling knowledge that was relevant decades ago while ignoring the demands of the modern world. Unfortunately, many people take on massive amounts of debt to acquire skills that have little to no connection to the current job market. Worse, they graduate into a world where many of those jobs no longer exist. It's a cycle that has left countless individuals stuck, financially and professionally. Instead of chasing degrees, for the sake of appearances or tradition, focus on mastering practical skills that align with real-world demands. If you're passionate about something, dedicate time and effort to becoming an expert in that field. In today's world, demonstrating value and results often outweighs formal credentials. The wealthy understand this reality, which is why they encourage their children to pursue experiences and skills that directly correlate with market needs. Teach your kids to think critically about what they invest their time in, because wasting time on irrelevant things is one of the biggest barriers to success. Lesson 7: Having money doesn't make you a better person. Contrary to popular belief, wealth doesn't automatically make someone arrogant or entitled. While the stereotype of spoiled, obnoxious rich kids exists, it's not representative of most wealthy individuals. In fact, unless someone inherited their fortune, they likely worked incredibly hard to achieve their success. Humility is a core value among many wealthy people. They remember their roots and the challenges they overcame to reach their goals. This humility often leads them to respect others, regardless of their financial status. One of the first lessons rich parents teach their children is the importance of staying grounded. They emphasize values like humility, respect, and gratitude, because they know what it feels like to struggle and don't want their children to forget those lessons. Having money is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to celebrate. However, it's also essential to recognize that wealth can't buy peace of mind or a clear conscience. Money can provide physical comforts, but true happiness and inner fulfillment come from living a life of purpose and integrity. Lesson 8: the difference between an asset and a liability. One of the biggest reasons many people stay poor is a lack of understanding between what constitutes an asset and what counts as a liability. Often, after earning money, poor individuals quickly spend it on things that don't improve their financial standing. Let's break this concept down as simply as possible. An asset generates income, while a liability takes money out of your pocket. The problem is that many people don't recognize liabilities for what they truly are. For example, the car you drive to the grocery store and the house you live in are liabilities. Why? Because they don't produce income. They demand maintenance, fuel, taxes, and other expenses to keep functioning. The same applies to that new smartphone, the designer clothes, the smart TV, and all the other non-essential purchases people make without much thought. Wealthy individuals approach money differently. They dedicate their resources to acquiring assets that create additional income streams. This might include purchasing rental properties, writing books that generate royalties, investing in businesses with potential, or buying stocks that yield dividends. Here's the key distinction. While the rich might enjoy luxury items like fancy cars or extravagant homes, they don't pay for these luxuries out of their primary earnings. Instead, they ensure their assets generate enough income to cover these expenses. For instance, if a wealthy person wants a new luxury car, they might first invest in properties that produce rental income, then use the rental earnings to pay for the car lease. This way, even after the car is gone, the assets continue generating money. This approach highlights the importance of redirecting money toward income-generating opportunities rather than instant gratification. If you want to break out of financial struggles, start focusing on buying assets rather than liabilities. Lesson 9: increasing income. Instead of lowering expenses, one of the most life-changing lessons parents can teach their children is how to generate more income. Believe it or not, it takes the same effort to scrape by as it does to create a fortune. The difference lies in the mindset, knowledge, and approach you bring to the table. Think of it this way. Wall Street brokers often earn significantly more than miners, despite the latter putting in more physically demanding labor. Why? Because brokers leverage knowledge and strategy, reducing the physical effort required. Poor families often focus on minimizing expenses as much as possible, to the point where life becomes a series of sacrifices. Wealthy individuals, on the other hand, direct their energy toward increasing income streams. They don't obsess over whether a $5 coffee is a waste or if a $30 movie ticket is excessive. Instead, they aim to earn so much that these small expenses become insignificant. By focusing on radically increasing your income, you'll find yourself with leftover money at the end of the month. This lesson ties in with the earlier principle of distinguishing between assets and liabilities. When combined, these habits form a solid foundation for financial independence. Lesson 10. Money is a tool, and it's a good thing. How many times have you heard the phrase, "Money is the root of all evil"? Now think about the person who said it. Were they successful? Were they happy? Often, people who hold this belief are neither. And this negative association with money stems from their struggles and lack of understanding about it. For those who don't know how to manage it, money can indeed seem like a problem. Even when they get a little, it often leads to more issues because they lack the knowledge to handle it properly. On the other hand, wealthy individuals understand that money is nothing more than a tool, a means to an end. It's simply paper, or plastic with numbers on it, used for the exchange of value. Once you stop viewing money as something personal or emotional and instead see it as a neutral tool, your perspective shifts dramatically. Think of it like a pair of scissors. You can use scissors to cut hair and create something beautiful, or you can use them carelessly and cause harm. The same principle applies to money. It's how you use it that matters. When you view money this way, you stop being afraid of it and start using it for its intended purpose, to improve your life. Lesson 11. Stop expecting immediate results and avoid magical thinking. We live in a world of instant gratification. Want to watch a movie? Stream it. Hungry? Order delivery. Looking for a relationship? Swipe on an app. But the reality is that wealth and happiness don't follow this instant model. They require time, effort, and patience. Many people believe in the fantasy of getting rich quickly, winning the lottery, inheriting money, or stumbling upon a life-changing opportunity. But here's the irony. Even if they did acquire a large sum of money, they wouldn't know how to handle it. Without financial education or long-term thinking, most people end up losing it just as quickly as they got it. Wealthy families teach their children to think in the long term. Building wealth and success is a slow process, requiring persistence and foresight. One of Bill Gates's famous quotes perfectly encapsulates this idea. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Instead of obsessing over short-term goals like the typical New Year, New Me resolutions, why not plan for the next decade? Thinking in larger timeframes allows you to make meaningful progress and achieve lasting success. Lesson 12. Don't work for money, have money. Work for you. This principle is the cornerstone of building wealth. You can read countless books, attend seminars, pursue advanced degrees like an MBA, and still come back to this single idea. The poor exchange their time for money and then spend it. The rich, however, use money as a tool to generate even more. Money. One of the biggest differences between these two mindsets is how they view investing. Many people remain poor because they mistakenly believe that you need a large sum of money to invest effectively. The wealthy, on the other hand, understand that even small investments can compound over time. It's not about how much you start with, it's about getting comfortable with the process of growing your money. Today, starting a business or investing has become more accessible than ever. With less than $100 or even no money at all, you can launch a side hustle, especially if you're willing to invest your time and effort. Once your business generates revenue, reinvest that money. Hire people to take over the repetitive tasks, so you can focus on scaling your operations and tackling more significant challenges. The key is simple. Stop trading your time for money. Instead, create systems or investments that earn money for you, even while you sleep. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. Lesson 13. Solving problems is the fastest way to get rich. One of the most valuable lessons wealthy parents teach their children is the distinction between getting paid and becoming rich. Let's break it down. Poor people often get paid to complete simple, repetitive tasks that someone else doesn't want to do. Things like delivering newspapers, washing cars, or answering phones. These are single-activity jobs that don't require much creativity or problem-solving. You do the same thing repeatedly, and your income remains limited by the time you can dedicate to the task. The rich take a completely different approach. They avoid repetitive tasks altogether. opting instead to solve bigger, more complex problems. Why? Because the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. For example, delivering newspapers evolved into creating online platforms that distribute content more efficiently, websites, apps, and social media. The same result, but far less effort and much greater reach. Teach your children to look at the world through this lens. Show them how to identify problems and think creatively about solutions. People will always pay for their problems to be solved. Once they grasp this concept, they're already on the path to financial success. Lesson 14: How to use good debt. Instead of bad debt, debt is a double-edged sword. While bad debt keeps you trapped in financial struggles, good debt can serve as a stepping stone to wealth. But how often did your parents talk about this concept when you were growing up? For most people, probably not at all. Yet, this is a lesson the wealthy have understood for generations. The difference between good debt and bad debt lies in the purpose behind it. Poor people often take out loans to finance liabilities, things that depreciate in value or don't generate income, like cars, phones, or everyday expenses. In contrast, the wealthy use debt as a tool to create more wealth. For example, banks and investors are eager to lend money to projects that will generate returns, such as building an apartment complex, purchasing a rental property, or starting a business. Developers don't pay out of pocket for skyscrapers. They use borrowed money, relying on a clear plan to show how they'll profit from selling or renting the building. The lesson here is that lenders are willing to take calculated risks as long as you can prove you know what you're doing and demonstrate a track record of success. If you can harness good debt effectively, it can become a powerful catalyst for building wealth. Lesson 15: 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. Rich parents don't push their kids to always be at the top of their class, which might seem counterintuitive at first. But this mindset is rooted in the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. This principle states that 80% of outcomes come from just 20% of efforts. In business, for example, 80% of revenue often comes from 20% of customers. Similarly, 20% of employees usually produce 80% of the results. This principle can be observed in nearly every area of life, including education. The wealthy understand that aiming for perfection in school can require exponentially more time and effort for marginal improvements. Spending hours to go from a 90% grade to 95% might leave little room for real-world experiences, which are often more valuable than academic perfection. Instead, rich parents encourage their children to focus on mastering the 20% of actions that deliver the greatest results. This allows them to allocate their time more effectively, gaining practical skills and building experiences that prepare them for success outside the classroom. The most important is teach your kids to raise their expectations. If you want your children to have a better life than you did, teach them to raise their expectations and never settle for mediocrity. While some say the secret to happiness is lowering expectations to make them easier to achieve, the secret to financial success lies in doing the opposite. Aim high and push yourself to reach those goals. Most people settle for a life of comfort and safety, avoiding risks that could lead to significant rewards. The wealthy take a different approach. They understand that while the competition may be fierce at the top, there are fewer people willing to aim that high in the first place. Ask yourself, would you rather meet low expectations or fall short of incredibly high ones? When you compare the outcomes, even falling short of ambitious goals often places you far ahead of those who never dared to dream big. So, there you have it. 15 powerful lessons that wealthy families instill in their children. Remember, these are not just about money. They're about life. They're about mindset, habits, and taking control of your destiny. Now, I want you to really get this. You have the power within you to achieve anything you set your mind to. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are capable of greatness. Go out there Embrace these lessons and create a life of abundance, fulfillment, and impact. The world is waiting for your unique gifts and talents. Now is your time to shine. What valuable lessons did your parents teach you that have made a difference in your life? We'd love to hear your story. Share your experiences in the comments. Your wisdom could inspire and guide someone else on their path to success. And take the opportunity to watch our video, 15 Crucial Moves to Make If You Suddenly Come Into a Fortune, to gain even more valuable insights on how to manage your money effectively. Don't miss out. Click play now.